My name is Julie Beth Hornbacher. For the Columbus Fall River Preparedness Committee, I am the treasurer, and I also do moulage, and we help set up all the disasters for the Columbus Fall River area.
My name is Chris Orange. My title is Critical Care Paramedic and Columbus Station Supervisor.
When we do a disaster, sometimes it's chemicals, it's hazardous material, fire, explosions, train derailment, bus rollovers. It all depends on what we feel is something that we haven't touched upon recently. Also, what we feel EMS, fire, police, what they all need to be trained at or practiced at. There is a group of us that all get together and decide what is appropriate disaster that we're going to have for the year.
Yeah, we started planning the scenario about 2 or 3 months prior between the hospital and the fire departments and the police departments.
Well, we decided we were going to have it at a school, so we tried to do something that would happen at a school.
The scenario this year was at about 1,400 hours, they simulated a tornado watch.
So the tornado hit the Fall River School.
And then it worked into the police arriving on scene, confirming that the tornado had struck the school and that there was multiple injuries and victims. And then once EMS and fire arrived, then we did our responsibilities and roles.
So we had students and teachers and parents, and we had injuries. We had a small explosion that happened in the school, in the art room. So there was a fire. So it was a little bit of many different things.
So typically when we have an incident like that, the first arriving ambulance will determine how many patients we have. If it's deemed to be a large scale incident or what we call mass casualty incident, we'll break off into separate roles. One person will establish command, and then the second person will go in and start triaging patients. Other incoming ambulances will then set up a treatment area, transport officer, notify the hospital what we have, how many people we have, how many they can take. The victims were scattered all over the school. We had thought maybe they were just going to be in a general area. So on top of triaging, we also had to find all the victims as well. So it actually threw all of us for a loop, which is not a bad thing. It keeps everybody thinking and on their toes.
And then I always like to throw something in there that nobody knows about that I do the day of. Last year it was, we had someone that did not speak any English. So that really caused a lot of issues on the scene. It caused a lot of issues at the hospital. But it was a really good learning experience. Everybody learned from that. This year we had a concealed weapon. That was Karen's idea.
I think it went very well as far as the EMS side. We had some new employees that did very well, took their roles head on and did what is expected of them.
I guess it's just a lot of preparation. So really it all depends on the disaster. There's a lot of hazardous material issues. We have, a lot of places in the Columbus area and in the Fall River area that have chemicals. So we deal with a lot of hazardous material. The train itself, the freight trains that go through here, there's a pipeline just outside of Columbus. There's so many different things that people don't think about. That I guess when you're with disaster services that you're just always thinking about.
The real thing is always going to be different because there's people's lives are at risk. I try to let people know too that if you're going to mess up, now is the time to do it. Don't let it bother you, as opposed to real world where you want to be a little bit more on your game.
Training teaches people, you do it so many times that pretty soon it just comes naturally. I walk into a building and the first thing I do is I always know where the exit is. It's just habit. And that's what these trainings do. They go into a hazardous material situation. They just know what to do or who to call.
I think it's good for the community to see us out practicing for this stuff. Obviously, it's something we never want to have to use or never have to do, but I think it makes the community feel more at peace that we're actually out practicing for these things if they were ever to happen in real life.
Does it keep you up at night?
Never.
Why not?
Because I think we have a really good group of people in this area and they really work really well together. Columbus and Fall River has worked great together for many, many years. We have a great emergency manager right now, our county emergency manager, Dodge County Emergency Management. I think we're in a pretty good spot that if something does happen, everybody works so well together and everybody knows the resources around. So I feel pretty comfortable. I sleep pretty good at night.
The Preparedness Committee is always looking for actors and volunteers.
If you're interested, contact Amy Sandow, Columbus's Emergency Management Director, by calling City Hall at 623-5900.